Doctor Who Full Circle, the 38th story of the 4th Doctor, is written by Andrew Smith and starring Tom Baker, Lala Ward, Matthew Waterhouse and John Leeson. This is the first of the E-Space trilogy and the introduction of Matthew Waterhouse's Adric. The title was going to be The Planets That Slept, but got changed to Full Circle. Andrew Smith was 17 years old when he wrote the story. Crazy. The outside locations on Alzarius were filmed at Black Park in Buckinghamshire. The story got repeated on BBC One apart from BBC One Wales. So after dropping off George Morris, Romana is understandably upset and went to her room because she didn't want to go back to Gallifrey, and the Doctor is trying to comfort her. Plus he's excited to see Leela, Android and K9 Mark 1 again. The TARDIS, however, is flying through the void.
ETA to Gallifrey, 32 minutes, flight path clear. Cannot comprehend. Cannot comprehend. K9! I have regained.
And ended up in Alzarius in E-Space. The Doctor and Romana were puzzled about it, and K9 couldn't tell what coordinates they're on. They're supposed to be on Gallifrey, but they're not. So in the cave we meet Adric, and everyone, even his brother Vosh, is picking on him. So he goes to pinch watermelons, but gets chased by Draith. By the time he catches up with him, he gets grabbed by Marshman and dragged into the water. And sadly, Adric couldn't save him. It's actually a scary scene there. So he found the TARDIS and let himself in. The Doctor asked who he is, and Adric passed out. So he's lying on bed saying that his people thinks Mistfall are myth. So he goes out to warn people. His leg heals like Wolverine. So he got given a homing device and goes away. While the Doctor and K9 are by the lake and sees Marshmen rising up from the water, there was hell of a mist of fog, which is pretty scary. While the Doctor sees Marshmen patrolling and K9 went with them, Adric tells his people about the Doctor and the TARDIS. So him, Vash, Kira and Tylos ran in. Vash and Tylos pointed knives at Romana, so luckily Romana disarmed Tylos but gave him his knife back. The TARDIS moved down to the cave and the Doctor couldn't find it, so he walks into a base being followed by a Marshman. So then he gets caught by Alzarians. As a Marshman was frightened, the Doctor tried to comfort it but gets knocked out and ended up in court. While they're examining a Marshman, horrible, the Doctor tells Deciders the truth about the mist and everything. K9 came into the cave to try rescue Romana, but one of the Marshmen knocked his head off. Poor K9 in 3 serials in a row. First he's blown up after going into the sea, then he gets kicked over, being called useless, and now got his head knocked off by a Marshman. As everyone went out the TARDIS seeing what scared the Marshmen off, it turns out to be spiders. So Alzarians went back in the TARDIS, leaving Romana out. Adric tried to let her back in, but accidentally dematerialised the TARDIS. And we get intense moments where Romana is attacked by spiders and fainted. Tom Baker, again, is brilliant as the 4th Doctor. It's a shame that it's his last season. Watching him and I'm like, oh no, I don't want him to go. Lala Ward and John Leeson are great as Romana 2 and K9 Mark 2. And I didn't want them to go either. Matthew Waterhouse played Adric, an Alzarian from Alzarius in E-Space, who became the Doctor's companion after stowed away in the TARDIS, and he got a badge for his mathematics skills. And I like the character. Tom Baker suggested that Adric should be like Sabu, a little wild boy who cannot speak, choosing to nod and shake his head, like Kemmel from The Evil of the Daleks, which I think it's a great idea. But sadly John Nathan Turner wasn't too keen on the idea. Richard Willis played Adric's older brother Vash, who's the leader of the Outlaws, the name that was taken by a group of Alzarians. He did a great job, and I think Alzarian are interesting races. Marshmen are amphibious humanoids. Every 50 years only came out of their home swamps during Mistfall and aggressive to their Alzarian cousins. And I thought they're pretty scary. June Page and Bernard Padden played Kira and Tylos, who are Alzarians and members of Outlaw Group. George Baker played Logan, an Alzarian engineer, and Kira's dad. Leonard Maguire played Draith, hence keeper of the system files and head decider. James Bree and Alan Rowe played Nefred and Gareth, deciders of Alzarius. Tom Calvin played Dexter, an Alzerian chief scientist. The cast did a great job, there's great sets and effects, and the music by Paddy Kingsland is fantastic. Doctor and Dexter has a look at Marshman, and then the Doctor and Logan were searching for Kira. So then the TARDIS arrived, and it was funny when the Doctor said Romana, and there's Alzerian coming out of the TARDIS like this. Romana! 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 Kira and her father reunite, so then it seems Outlaws were on trial, but they're not to be punished, however. Meanwhile, the Doctor and Adric arrived at the cave where Romana is, and she's sitting there seemingly emotionless. So the Doctor sees on the screen that Marshman strangled Dexter to death, so she goes back in the TARDIS for resting. While the Doctor sees on screen that Marshman strangled Dexter to death and punched the screen, which killed him, Adric told the Doctor that Romana is missing. As they searched the TARDIS, she wasn't there, and it seems to be a bit of a mess. So Romana, while being possessed, let out an army of Marshmen, so it broke into the base and attacking Alzerians. The Doctor and Adric are busy working on how to cure Romana, so everyone uses the fire extinguisher type things to attack all Marshmen, and I like how the Doctor used K9's head to scare the Marshmen, like that. Sadly, Vosh gets dragged into the door and gets killed. As the Doctor thought Romana has died, she revealed to be alive and freed from hypnosis of the spider. While Adric sneaked into the TARDIS and put image translator on the console, the Doctor tells Gareth and Logan how to fly the ship, and arrived on Pterodon. So then the Doctor and Romana went back in the TARDIS, dematerialised, fixed K9, and after finding image translator, as they looked on the scanner, they discovered that they're trapped in E-space. And I think this is a great start of a trilogy. I enjoyed this one. What did you think of Full Circle? Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks people as always for watching, and see you in the next video.